was, Mike Tomlin steps down 19 seasons as a head coach. The only head coach to have no losing seasons. I've got to ask this off the rip. Is he first ballot Hall of Fame? Yeah?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see how he's not. Now, some will say with the years he was there to only have one championship is a little concerning. But you think about what it's like in the NFL to maintain stability and to, yes, I know some of those non-winning seasons were 9 and 7s, whatever. It was still above 500. So you have to, you have to just call it what it is. Mike Tomlin, I think he did this to make it easy on the Rooney family.
Yeah.
I think he did this to just not be a distraction to the Pittsburgh Steelers organization and team. And he decided to walk away. And I think that Mike is actually just going to take some time off for Mike Tomlin and not be in a hurry to get back on the sideline.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, but you look at his body work, you look at what he did, you look at him saving a franchise from sinking, so to speak, when he took over the regime when he did, because anytime there's coaching transition, there can be a drop-off. Yeah. And to not have any drop-off at all in 19 years, that says a lot about the man and the coach that Mike Tomlin is. You can look at the Steelers and how they did things, but I believe Mike Tomlin the Steelers organization made some transitions and moves just too late. And so when they did, a la keep Ben Roethlisberger too damn long.
Yeah.
How you're reeling, trying to fetch and find different pieces to come in and fit. And then they missed when they got Mitch Trubisky as quarterback. Wait, no. Scar, it wasn't Trubisky. Trubisky was a Bears quarterback.
You talking about Minshew?
No, they didn't get Gardner Minshew as an early draft pick.
Did Dad Pickett? Wasn't it
Kenny Pickett? Yeah, he did mess on Kenny. But he wasn't super hot, regardless of the fact.
Yeah.
They never really landed the quarterback. And then to get an old Aaron Rodgers to come in, but not really have the necessary pieces. I don't know. It was just really weird, man. So the Pittsburgh Steelers and how they dealt with some things put themselves behind the 8 ball. And
Aaron, I think this is a pretty good note. He had Brady and Manning doing this run, as well as Burrow would some would say in there. And also you have Allen at this point. So and Lamar. So he has some really good quarterbacks.
Oh, dude, that division, the AFC North. Oh man, come on.
Yeah. No, we already know that. You said Maddox? Yeah, Maddox and Pickett. Yeah, there was some. And here's the other part too. When you talk about having a winning season and you go to the playoffs, you're not going to have a high draft pick.
That facts, that part.
You're not going to have a high draft pick. But I got to say this though. That doesn't mean that you don't get the right quarterback, or the right quarterback is a high draft. There's very few quarterbacks that are drafted very high, top 10, top 5 even, that go to the Super Bowl and win. There are very few. Very, very few. First rounders, yeah, okay. Mahomes is one of those who's a first rounder. That went to the Super Bowl and won. Jalen Hurts is another one that went to the Super Bowl and won. But
Jalen Hurts wasn't even a first-round draft pick. He was a third-round draft pick.
Third, thank you. Okay. So a lot of these first-round, top 5 draft picks, they don't go to the Super Bowl. They don't make it there.
Now, we know how difficult it is to get to Super Bowl stocks.
Right.
It's not like, hey, man, what you doing today? Shit, I'm going to the Super Bowl. What you doing? I mean, it's not like that. We understand that.
Right.
It's an accomplishment, an achievement, and you see why it's so rare teams go back to back and win back to back. Or it doesn't happen like that. We get it. We understand that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's all because of Ben Roethlisberger, but when you're a good team, good management, you find ways to put good rosters together. Now, granted, the Philadelphia Eagles didn't execute this year, but I think a lot of that was coaching and not personnel. I still believe, like, the way they did personnel, Pittsburgh could have done similar things when trying to find the next pieces of doing things. And they didn't. But at the same time, no one's going to get argument out of me that it is. You never know what you're going to get. NFL draft is like a box of chocolates.
Right.
Like, the wrapper is pretty on the outside. You open it up, it's like,
but you know what?
That you don't even want to eat.
But you know what? You make a good point there in saying, you talk about the draft. What comes to my mind is, you can